Hi everybody, I hope you're well. As always, when I go live, I would really appreciate it if you could please let me know if you can hear me okay and see me okay, because I always say you never know this when you first start these live streams. You're just literally talking to yourself. Hopefully I'm not though, hopefully it's all working. And first thing to say, Happy New Year. I wish you all a very, very happy and healthy 2025. I hope you've all had a really nice Christmas and a very happy New Year. So I'm just going to wait here now and say, yes, thank you, Alex. Good old Alex. Thank you very much for joining and also for letting me know this is working okay. I can't stress enough how nerve-wracking it is when you start these and you're just thinking, is anybody there? Hi, Mike. Thank you very much for joining. If you could please let me know as well where you're joining from, that would be really cool. I'm always very keen to know. And also let me know in the chat if you've had or if you made any New Year's resolutions. I have, but whether I'll be able to stick to it, I don't know. I weighed myself for the first time in a long time yesterday, and I was the heaviest I've ever been. Not good. Let's look at the comments. Thank you for joining, Tracy. Thank you, Christopher, Martin, Christopher, Helen. You'll be seeing lots of Helen on this live stream. She might not realize it. And Andy, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, first thing that I'm going to ask you to do, if you don't mind, is to please like the stream. If you could hit that little like button down below. In fact, I think I've got a cool little effect here. If you could make that happen, that would be very cool, please, because that just pushes the stream out to more people. I'd be very, very grateful. Hi, Shabby, Hugo. Hi, Tracy. Yeah, Mike from Iowa. Very cool. Thank you very, very much, everyone. I really appreciate you all joining. This is probably going to be my most ambitious live stream yet, because I'm going to share in this stream a lot of behind the scenes video footage from real weddings that I've captured. Should have had it ready. Apologies. On my little Insta360 X4 camera. I love this little thing. I sit this on top of my camera, which I will just grab for you now. That just goes on top of here. I have a little small rig adapter, you can see there. And this camera is brilliant because it captures everything. It films me, it films what's going on in front, it films the side, everything. So it's a really great little way of capturing behind the scenes. And I've just got into the habit over the past year or two. I mean, I've been doing behind the scenes obviously for years and years, but I've not been using the Insta360 for that long. But the past 12 months, I've really come to like it. And I'm now using this virtually all the time, whether it's a shoot for a real wedding, whether it's a YouTube shoot, whatever it may be, this comes with me and this sits on my camera hot shoe like that. If I'm using off-camera flash, I use the Godox X2T trigger, which is this one. And the reason I use this trigger is because, again, I can put the Insta360 onto the trigger, and it means that I can use off-camera flash and capture behind the scenes at the same time. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you in this stream. So that is what all the footage you see, or you will be seeing rather, is from. All from that little Insta360. So I think it's really cool. If you are ever interested in getting one, by the way, I definitely recommend the X4 rather than the previous incarnations, because one, it's got a big screen, it's got an amazing battery life, it lasts forever, but the main thing is that the little cameras themselves, it's camera on either side, and you see how they jut out. They have you can get little cases for them, so this little case protects the lens underneath, because with the old version, the one that I had, which was the original one, if you scratched the lens, then you can't really repair it. So it's not ideal, that one. And that did happen. Not by me. Not sure if Helen's watching. Don't want to dub her in just yet. But yeah, but the X4 is brilliant. So yeah, all the footage you see in this stream is captured on this. Any questions, by the way, please let me know in the chat. I'll keep an eye out in the chat all the time. And I'd love this stream to be very interactive. Those watching are members of my Patreon, and Flashmasters will already know how these things usually work. But if you are watching on YouTube and maybe you've not watched any of my streams before, please put your comments in the chat, and I'll constantly be looking at them and answering them as we go, because I'm hoping to get lots of questions on this. Not sure how long this stream will last. Maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half, something like that. We'll see. All depends on how it goes and what the questions are. Hi, James. Hi, Martin. Hi, Emma. Hi, KH Photography. Thank you again, everyone, for joining. I really appreciate it. And again, Happy New Year. Last time I've asked you before we get into everything, if you could please like the stream, that would be amazing. I can't see anywhere at the minute how many likes we've got. Yes, I can, 27. And 41 people watching. So if we could get that to 30 or 35, that would be amazing. So let's get into it. There are lots of clips I'm going to show you in this stream. A combination of documentary photography, portraits, natural light, off-camera flash. So I tried to put a bit of a mix in there, and hopefully you'll find it very, very useful. So the first photograph I'm going to show you is a portrait that I took. All these photographs, by the way, are from last year. They're all from 2024. And I think all but 2 of them are from real weddings, either my weddings or weddings which I've second shot for my partner Helen. So thank you, Helen, for letting me and my 360 camera come along. So let's get into it. Now, hopefully it's going to work well. I'm going to try and share video and then talk over the top. It'll be much easier that way. And hopefully when I share the video, I will be able to pause it. This button here. Oh, no. So close. Okay, try again. Okay, cool. So I can talk over this now. So this was a nighttime portrait that I took at a venue called Horton Tower up in Lancashire, which is one of my favourite venues. Also haunted, fun fact. It's a beautiful venue, and as you can see, couples will often book this venue because the outside of it looks like a castle, is so stunning. And in the evening, they light it up, and it looks amazing. So I'm always conscious that the couples that book me for this wedding venue will almost certainly want a shot of the tower, Horton Tower, in the evening when it's lit up. That's what they're paying the money for. And I also love taking photographs when it's lit up at night. So this is a really simple setup, this one. So this is an off-camera flash shot. Now, I'm going to pause it there so you can see there that I have one speed light, which I believe is a V860. No, it's an AD200, sorry. It's a Godox AD200, and there's one modifier on there, which is a grid. Now, the reason that I would use, because this, when I place a couple in front of this speed light, there's going to be nothing next to them. So, and it's also a bit of rain in the air. So you would think, don't you want a big spread of light to capture all that rain? And I do. But what I don't want to do for this particular photograph is light up the floor. So I just think that that can be distracting, because if the flash hits the floor, it means that that's going to light up the floor and it's going to become a distracting element in the final photograph. So what the grid does is it just stops the light coming out the speed light from hitting the floor, and it only backlights the couple. That is the reason that I have a Magmod grid on the AD200. So you can see here, I've also put a freezer bag. This is a very expensive and technical freezer. It's not, it's from IKEA. So my advice, if you ever shoot in the rain, make sure you're using protection. So the protection for me is a big, transparent, clear freezer bag. And IKEA sell them in packs of about 10, and they're huge, and that's what I use. And I've had speed lights in the pouring rain, and they've been absolutely fine thanks to the freezer bag. So that's literally as complicated as the setup gets. Now, you see me walking away from the tower here without a bride and groom in front of me. That's just because at this point, the bride and groom are in the wedding venue having a dance. So this is late. This is the last shot I took. In fact, I didn't actually go back into the venue at any point after this, except just to ask the bride and groom to come outside. So I've already packed up. This is the very last photograph I'm taking, and this would have been an hour and a half after the first dance, maybe even later than that. It was taken in the middle of the summer, this one, and that's what our summers look like in the UK. So this, sorry, I'm just looking at the comments. Hi from Italy. Hi. And for California. Amazing. Thank you, everyone. Again, if you could please like the stream, I'd be very, very grateful. It just gets the stream out to more people. So yeah, I've already finished everything. This is the very last photograph that I'm taking. But what I don't want to do ever is take up too much of my couple's time. You know, this is their wedding day, so I want them to be in front of my camera for the least amount of time possible. So I'm getting all the setup done before they come out, and all I'm basically doing here is just making sure that when I take this test shot, I'm not hitting the floor with the speed light, as I've just said. So that's as exciting as this particular clip gets. So what I'm going to do now is show you the next video. Oh, there I am. Which is me getting the bride and groom outside. And you should hear the audio from this as well.
Sometimes you'd just be surprised. It's like, no.
I'm going to say it's a lot on this stream. This couple, Philippa and Alex, were absolute rock stars. And I will always be grateful to all of my couples for how amazing they always are. And not only, you know, I love taking these photographs, but it's important to remember that when it comes to off-camera flash portraits like this, these are it's these photographs that couples are booking me, because this is what I'm showing lots of. So they will always be happy to go out in the rain. They'll do whatever I ask, and I'm very, very fortunate because I'm showing those images and they're booking me for those images. So if you want to take your bride and grooms out or couples out in the rain, show those photographs, because otherwise the couples might get a bit confused. Ooh, do I really want to go out in the rain? Is it a bit cold? But if you show those photographs, as I do on my social media, then you'll find that your couples, your people will find you, and they'll end up hoping sometimes that it rains on their wedding day because they know what you're capable of if it does rain. And that's a great position to get to. So you'll hear me saying that I'm just talking to my couples here saying not all couples will come out in the rain, but thank you for doing it.
I know that you'll find it strange because you're both so thoughtful and kind, but sometimes you'd just be surprised. It's like, no, we're all right, we won't do this, or no, we won't go do that, or you just feel like you're a supplier, whereas you've genuinely made both Helen and me feel like friends, so thank you. Right, so you'll be just a bit in front, I would...
So as you've already saw, I've already got the speed light outside. Okay, I already know more or less what the setup is. I've got everything set up. And I'm not going to ask the couple to do anything complicated here, because this shot is really about the composition, it's about the venue, and what I'm about to do with the camera. So all I really need them to do is stand next to each other, facing each other, and nice and close.
Yes.
Now this is important as well. Now this is genuine, my excitement for this photograph, because I love this photograph. But I've seen lots of photographers working, and one of the things that sometimes surprises me, and it's something that I would really encourage you all to do if you're not doing it already, is just to keep on building up your couples. Like, tell them how happy you are, how excited you are about the photograph you're taking. Even if, dare I say it, the photograph is not turning out like you would like it to be, they don't need to know that. So sometimes I might take a photograph and be like, oh God, this is terrible. What is this? But I won't project that. I'll be like, these are amazing, amazing. I'm just going to change my lens because I didn't like what I was got in the first place. But the couple don't know that, and the more that you're like showing your enthusiasm for that photograph, they're going to feed off that, and that's really important because you need their buy-in. If you take a photograph, especially outside now, we've got them outside, it's raining, it's a bit cold, and I'm like, oh no, oh, it's not working. Wait a minute. No. Okay, I'll try again in a minute. That's not going to give them confidence. So even if you are feeling like that in your head, don't project that. Always project confidence and excitement. Now, as I say, I absolutely promise you that is how I felt, but I'm projecting that regardless.
Right, a half power. Yes. Let me just tweak this, but it's gonna look cool. Very cool.
Right, okay, what I'm going to do now, if this technology works, is... Oh, no. Is it not going to work like I want it to? Is attempt to show you the end image. Oh, they've all gone. This is annoying. Okay, let me just try something. I've never showed any video clips with audio before, and the way that this eCam works makes it a little bit tricky to do it. So if I press me solo and then take me off, do I see those clips? No. Okay, I can do it individually. Not to worry. Okay, so as if by magic, that there is the photograph that I've just taken. Now that is, in my mind, a safe photograph. There's nothing incredible about that. It's not really got like that real impact that I want it to have. But for me, I think it's always important to take what I call a safe photograph first, because that then allows me to get a bit more creative. What I don't ever do is go straight into a really creative photograph without getting the safe one first. So that's all I've done here, just something really simple. That's not going to, it's not going to win any awards, but it means that I can now progress knowing that I've already got something. And that's quite key to do it that way round. Okay, so I'm now going to show you the next video, which is this one. And in this photograph, I use a makeup mirror, which I'll show you more of in a second.
Right. Again, just as you are, I'm just going to keep on moving around, but you're doing perfect.
So everything's exactly the same. I'm on my Sony A9 II, so I should have said, with my Sony 35mm f1.8 lens. That is one of my favorite lenses. It's tiny. Here it is. I'll just put me on here. It's a really tiny little lens. So it's only 1.8, but I love how small it is and how light it is. And rather than having a big cumbersome 35mm, I prefer the small size and weight, especially when I'm shooting documentary, because I can just be much quicker moving around, and I find that really helps me. And it's not often that I'm needing to shoot a wider aperture than f1.8. But I can say for a shot like you're seeing now, which is a portrait, I almost always am shooting at a wide aperture, light 1.8, but I don't do that for documentary. Documentary, I'm normally more like f4, so I don't need a big, heavy 35mm lens. So let's just go back to that video.
Right. Again, just as you are, I'm just going to keep on moving around, but you're doing perfect. Yes. Oh, this is amazing. Honestly, I might even show you this. Just nice and close with your, I can barely see you, but nice and close with your bodies.
Now that's when you know I really am getting excited, because if I show any of my couples the back of the camera, it means that I'm very confident they'll like it. But it's not often I feel that confidence. So if I do ever show my couples the back of the camera, well, usually it would be at the end of the day like we are now, because if you do that and they're not happy with what they see, so hopefully that will never happen, then you're going to lose them for the rest of the day. So it's not often I do it, but if I do, my couples know that I'm really excited about what we're taking.
Little gap between your heads. So cool. Yeah. Let me just check these. Oh, whoa. This looks mad. So,
I'll show you the photograph in a second.
These ones I love.
Oh, they're gorgeous, Neil.
Couple, the photograph. Saw your question here, Steve, in a second. I'll answer that in a second. Thank you. So, yeah, let me just show you that photograph. So the end result was, with the makeup mirror, all being well, I'm having to do this in a different way than I thought I would, but never mind. That's the final photograph. So as you can see, it's It's the same photograph as I took in the first place, but literally just with the mirror. Now, I often get questions about the mirror when I'm showing things like this. So, as you will have seen in the behind the scenes, I'm using a 35mm lens. 1 second, sorry. With my makeup mirror, and that is what I would always suggest. If you want to take a photograph like this and you're using a makeup mirror, and there will be other examples in this stream, then I would strongly suggest using the 35mm focal length. And another big bonus of using this particular 35mm lens, the Sony 35mm 1.8, the FE lens, is because it's physically quite small. So that means that when I hold my portable mirror, which is this one, against the lens, it covers the lens. What you don't want is your mirror to be smaller than the lens. Otherwise, you're going to see your fingers. It's just not going to work. So my little quick tips for using a makeup mirror to create reflections is 35mm focal length, wide open. So the wider your aperture, the more that the edge of the mirror is going to blend away. So you're not going to see it, which is really important. Because again, if I show you there, you don't really see where the mirror starts and where it finishes. Now, you would do if I took that same photograph at, say, f5. You see a line, and that defeats the object. So I'm always shooting, anytime I'm using a makeup mirror, I'm always shooting at wide apertures on my 35mm lens, and that's when I find I get the best results. And as I was just showing you a second ago, I put the mirror right against the lens, and then you see it live in the viewfinder in the EVF, what it is you're getting. And then it makes it really easy. So that shot, although it might look quite complicated, is actually very, very simple. Now, just so we had a question here from Steve, which is, why not use the barn doors instead of the grid to stop the light hitting the ground? I'll be honest, I'm not aware of any barn doors for the AD200. If they exist, then I don't own them. So yeah, if you have barn doors on a speed light, that would do a similar job. I do find the grid though to be extremely effective. There is no gaps. You know, even with barn doors, you get little bits spilling out. With a grid, it's exceptionally good. But yeah, to answer your question, I don't have any barn doors for the AD200. That's the reason why there. Happy New Year to Seven Studio. Hi to Andrew from Liverpool. Ooh, Liverpool, not looking forward to Sunday. Hi, Sam and Steve. Hi, Ivan. And hi, Martin. You may not have it around. Can we see the raw, please? I don't have it to hand, unfortunately, Martin. I will post it if you'd like in Flashmasters or in the Patreon group. If you just tag me in a post in there, and I will post it. But I've not got the raws of the image that I'm showing tonight. I can assure you there's not much done to it though. But yeah, if you tag me in one of those groups, then I'll post it, of course. Hi, Linny. Hi, Chris. Oh, here we go. Where was the flash placed in relation to the couple? Good question. I would say about 15 foot, which, let's try and think, what's that? Maybe 4 meters or so behind the couple. Not too far, but not too close either. So, good question. They do exist. I didn't know that. Thank you very much, Steve. I've learned something there. You can get barn doors for 8200. There you go. Oh, yeah, Sam and Steve have also said there are small barn doors with the kit with grids and gels. If I've ever had them, I've thrown them out. So thank you for letting me know. And thank you from Israel. Hi from Israel. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you, Samantha, as well. Oh, God, who is? Thank you, Sammy. Thank you very much for joining. I'm shooting Samantha's wedding next year. Hope you're well. Thank you very much for joining. There is a photograph from Northern Ireland coming up, Sammy, you might want to keep tuned for. There you go. I'm not sure. Godox BD07. I'm assuming that's the barn doors. Thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate that. Oh, good question as well from Tracy. What power setting would you use for the AG200 at that distance? I actually did say it in the video because unfortunately what I always get frustrated about is when you take a RAW, there's no way of remembering, or that RAW does not contain the EXIF of what the flash power was. But I did say it in the video when it was at half power. So nowhere, you know, AD200 is giving you 200 watts of power, so you don't need that much. But yeah, 200 watts of power at half, so 100 watts. So yeah, it was at half power for that particular photograph. Was the flash directly behind the couple? Yes, it was, Christopher. Good question. Slightly tilted up as well. Again, just to take the heat off the floor. If you had it straight at them, we might hit the floor, but I have it lower. So if the couple, you know, it's going to be about waist height or hip height to the couple, slightly tilting up. Again, with the grid, that means it's not going to hit the floor too much. Can't wait for our wedding with you guys. Oh, amazing. Oh, I always love rain. Hopefully not all day, but a little bit. Oh, thank you very much, Sammy. Yeah, honestly, can't wait for your wedding. It's going to be amazing. Right, on to the next shot now. Thank you very much for everyone for joining as well. We're nearly to 60 viewers, which is amazing. If I could please ask you to like the stream, see if we can hit 50, that would be amazing. This stream as well is probably going to go on longer than I thought because we've got through one shot and we've got lots more to get through. So the next one is a natural light portrait taken by a window. Now, I was second shooting this particular wedding for my partner Helen, so thank you, Helen, for allowing me along, and also thank you to your beautiful couple Natalie and Kane, because they were the stars of this shot. So if I do this, hopefully you shall now see.
Kane is too muscly there. That must be lovely, you know.
It's a problem we share. It's a pain. Yeah.
No, I did the latter.
Now, one of the things I want to get across, and hopefully will come across in this. By the way, if the audio is too loud or anything on the video clips, please let me know. Can you hear the audio of the video? Okay, if you can let me know, please, because I want to make reference sometimes to what I'm saying to my couples, to what Helen is saying as well in this clip, because that is all part of it. When it comes to photography, and certainly for photographing people, a lot of the work is not done with the camera. It's done with how we communicate. And if you don't feel confident communicating to your couples, it's very hard to get them, A, to do what you would like them to do, and B, to get real, genuine emotion out of them. So one of our biggest jobs, I think, as wedding photographers, is to put our couples at ease and to get a good rapport with them. If you can do that, you're already far into the process of getting a good photograph. Remember, clicking the shutter is the end part of the process, but the beginning part is how you communicate and making sure that your couples feel comfortable with you. So the reason I'm saying that in this clip is the videographer here has made a little joke saying, oh, Kane, the groom, is really muscly. It must be hard to get your jacket on and off. And I said, yeah, I have the same problem. Obviously I don't, but all that is just feeding into them feeling more comfortable. And as you'll see when I play this clip further along, I'm constantly communicating with the couple, and Helen, who is not taking this photograph but is watching, is also reinforcing like how well they're doing. Oh, these are going to look amazing. Oh, you two are brilliant. As you'll see here, if I just put it back to the beginning.
Kane is too muscly there. That must be lovely, you know.
It's a problem we share. It's a pain. Yeah.
No, I did the latter.
Okay, Natalie, that's it. Perfect, you two. So Natalie, you're just gonna be looking slightly out the window.
Right, I'm just gonna come back a little bit because I want to show you why I've chosen this. This is not a big glamorous. Sorry, 1 second, everyone. My cat is scratching at the carpet outside. This is not an amazing, stunning wedding venue. It's a really cozy pub, really, more so than anything else. But it doesn't matter what the venue is, as long as you're looking for the light and cool little areas that you can use to create little cool portraits. So what I like about this particular, and the reason I've chosen this window is because, one, I can pull the curtain to mean that the light is only going to hit, I'm basically making the area where the light's coming in smaller, which is good, as you'll see, for what I want to do. And I know that when I place my couple in front of that window light and pose them well, that's going to create really beautiful light. But what I also loved was the little lamp on the wall behind the couple, because I know that when I lower my exposure, because when the couple are near the window, it's the same as taking off camera flash portrait. It means that everything else in the photograph, when I expose for them, is going to go underexposed, including the light behind them. So that light's going to look really cool. Now, bearing in mind, obviously, we're looking at a 360 camera here, so it's exposing for everything, but it's actually quite a dark venue. But that's the reason that I'm choosing that particular corner, because I like the light that is behind the couple on the wall.
It's a problem we share, it's a pain. Yeah.
No, I didn't laugh.
Okay, Natalie, that's it. Perfect, you two. So, Natalie, you're just going to be looking slightly out the window. You are. That's it, gorgeous. Beautiful, you two.
Can I just say, this is making me remind me of Liv and Danby's pic like this, and all I can think about is how much, like, when I watch that pic, I'm like, oh, I love it.
Oh, that's good.
Really like what Natalie said there. So I've obviously posed them, and I'll talk about the pose in a second, but I posed them by the window, and Natalie's even getting a bit emotional because she said this is reminding her of a photograph that her friends had taken. I don't know who they are, by the way. Say, this is not my wedding. I'm second shooting this wedding. But I just thought that was really nice, that she's already in that really nice frame of mind because she's thinking, oh, I'm going to like this photograph. So that's really important. That's really good.
So you're going to get even cuddly if that's it. Yeah, beautiful.
Are you married?
Actually, these aren't. Can you put these on both down?
So I just realized I was muted then. So when I was looking at I posed them here using short lighting. Now I have videos on my channel all about posing in window light and short lighting, so I won't stress it too much now, but let me know if you want to know any more about that, and I'll tell you which video to go and find. But as a matter of course, I don't like the bride's arm to be over the top of the groom's. Now, Natalie and Kane, this particular bride and groom, as you can see, are very photogenic. It doesn't really matter for them, but as just I say, as a sort of a reflex when I see this pose, I don't like the bride's arm to be too up like this and over the top, because if she is a little bit nervous and squashes her arm a little bit, which we all tend to do when we're a bit nervous or anxious because we're having our photograph taken, it can just make her arm look a bit bigger. So what I do here, as you'll see, so I'm constantly critiquing what I'm doing, and I just asked Natalie and Kane just to lower their arm slightly, just so that arm wasn't too tense. Now, obviously, I'm not going to communicate that to my couple, but I'm just going to ask them just to slightly change their arms, but I'm not going to tell them the reason why. They don't need to know that. The other thing, just very quickly to talk about what I'm doing here, is I'm short lighting the bride. What that means is, if I've got a light here, it means that I'm facing her body away from the light and asking her to look back towards the light with her face. That is a really flattering angle. It's almost becomes Rembrandt lighting, which is where we have a little triangle of light on the shadow side. And that is just a very photogenic way of posing anyone. Now, obviously, to do that, it means that Kane, the groom, is being broad lit. He's not being short lit, so he's got bad light. But I don't really think that matters too much for a shot like this. It's more about me putting the bride in the best light. So that's a pose I often like to do, but it will always depend on where the light is coming from. But that's why I've got them in that pose. And again, all the things that are going on there, the bride's body being away from the light, which means that we've just got like a thinner line of light down as we look at her here, down her left-hand side. Again, short lighting. That means that the short side of her is lit. That is photogenic, and that's just a way of really sort of like embellishing someone's figure. So it's a really nice way of doing that. If I had her face in the light, all of her body would be in the light, and it would make us think that she's bigger than she actually is. So by shortening the light that we see and by putting the majority of her body into the shadow, it's just more photogenic. So that's what I've done here. But I'm obviously not going to stress that to my couples. All I say to them is, just can you just stand here and get cuddly close? Like, they don't need to know the reasons why I'm doing that.
Actually, these aren't. Can you put these on both down here?
Me?
Yeah, both of you, like holding your hand, but further down. That's it, yeah. That's beautiful. And then just a little bit that way. Yeah, there. That's gorgeous. Heads even closer to you, a little, so actually a bit closer to the light.
Connection's really important, so I always want the heads to be close. And at the minute, all I'm doing is making sure that the bride's in the best light. Now, notice here as well how the bride's hair is just falling over her face. I'm constantly looking at these things, so you'll hear me solve that in a second.
Move into that side. No, God, please.
Again, Sony 35mm 1.8, the same lens as before. So I use it all the time.
Beautiful, you too. Natalie, you able just to make this little bit of hair here, just slightly back? That's it, now just nice. So, Kane, you're going to look back at your wife?
So I'm just noticing things all the time. And remember, if you've got any questions, please put them in the chat. Notice how close I am to the curtain. And this is really important, actually. The reason that I'm putting my camera lens literally against the curtain is because I don't want to see any of the window light that not obviously I want the light on the couple, but I don't see any of that window in the photograph at the end, because the human eye will always look at the brightest part of a photograph first. And if I include the window, that will be the brightest part. So I'm trying to put my lens as far to the left as I can to get rid of the window, because that will be a distracting element. That's why I'm so close to the window.
Really close, you'll be touching, that's it, yeah, there. You can close your eyes even if you like. Stunning, you too.
You shut your eyes.
Kind of really soft little kiss on the top of Natalie's head.
Now just take a note of this moment, because one of the shots I'm going to show you in a second is of this moment.
Beautiful. Yes, you too. Perfect. Oh, sorry. We'll say that.
That, in effect, is me getting the safe photograph, which, as I mentioned before, I get the safe shot first, then that allows me to move on to something that may be a bit more creative, and it'll be the creative one that I actually end up showing.
I was so up in your space there.
On my social media.
If you need me to move.
No, you're good,
I know I've got this big old battery.
That's it, you're perfect, you two.
This is important as well. Notice, Helen's just said there, aren't they good at this? So this is important. Notice how Helen's in the background, and although she's not taking any photographs, she's playing a very important role here. And when the roles are reversed for us, and Helen's first shooting and I'm second shooting, I'll try and do the same. Like, these look amazing. Oh, these are going to look so good. Just constantly building up the couple all the time, because they'll feel that, and it'll make the photograph better.
No, you're good,
I know I've got this big old battery.
That's it, you're perfect, you two.
I owned one, so we're on a miracle.
Winner, 10 out of 10.
That's it, just hold it there, last ones. That's it.
Here comes the mirror.
Ooh, yeah, it was gone up before, it's back now. You know, if you can, you've got to go even close with your head. So now just rest your heads on each other, that's it. Perfect. Just arms across your weight again, both of you. That's it. A little really soft kiss on the cheek. Okay.
Really want to stress, these are the safe shots. What I'm going to do in a second, once I know I've got it, and obviously I'm critiquing myself constantly through the EVF, the electronic viewfinder, because only when I've got the safe shot, which is basically the easy one where I've not injected a moment, will I move on. And one of the things that I like to do, as well as, like, say, getting the mirror out, as I'm doing here, is inject the moment to lift the photograph up. But I will only inject the moment once I've got the safe one.
That's good, that's good.
Romance.
Beautiful, and then just closing your eyes really soft. And then just almost resting heads if you can. But as I said, Natalie's going to be a little bit further ahead this time. That's there, yeah, that's it. Jesus. Beautiful, you two. And you can thank me later for this, Kane. You're just going to just shake your hips into Kane.
This is making the moment happen.
Looking back in, yeah, that's it. Head really close, you do that. That's it, yeah. Beautiful. Little bit of a wiggle. Gorgeous. Got it, perfect.
Okay, so that is the little behind the scenes. I'm going to show you the photographs that we ended up taking now. Let me just see if I can get rid of that and get rid of that. Put these in here. I think we're getting to grips with this now. We're doing well. We're doing well. Remember, any questions at all, please put them in the chat and I'll check again in a second. So that's the first one where I said, like, I'm getting a bit closer. So you can see the orange light there of the wall light that was behind them. And I've exaggerated the blue on the left-hand side in post, but that was obviously cooler light coming in from the outside. But look how nice the light is on the bride's face in particular, because she's been short-lit really nicely. And then, so that was like the safe shot. That's a really easy one. Then we move on to this one. Now that is the safe version of the mirror shot. And again, notice how you don't see the window light. If that window was in, you'd see a big distracting white line down the middle. That is what I was trying to make sure I didn't include in the photograph by putting the camera so far to the left, as you saw in the video, and then the mirror's just doing the rest. Again, 35mm, wide open at f1.8. And then I injected the moment, which is that one, which is my favorite one. So all that process was me getting to that photograph. And I knew that was going to be the one I would like from the very beginning. But I had to go through the process of taking the safe shots first and making sure that we've got the nice ones safe done and in the can. Then we can try something a bit like this. Just looking back at the comments. Yeah, TJ has said there, short side window light is the way to go, without a doubt. You can't beat that beautiful natural light like that. It's really amazing. Glenn's asking what the settings were for these. Oh, do I have them to hand? Let me just see if I do. Bear with me 1 second. Yes, I do. That was 35mm f1.8. My ISO was 100 and my exposure was 320. There you go. So Martin said, I have a pocket mirror, but so often forget to use it. This might be my New Year's resolution. There you go. There you go. That's what you can do in 2025. Yeah, it's so important to say that, you know, you don't want to use the mirror all the time, but it's just there to embellish an already nice photograph. I love it. And I've been using it for years, and I just feel like it just adds something. So yeah, I'm a big fan. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Again, if you've not done so already, if you could please like the stream, I'd really appreciate it. 66 people watching with 52 likes, so maybe we can get it to 60. It's New Year. Come on. Okay, let's move on to the next one now. Oh, I love. Oh no, sorry. I thought it's a really beautiful moment. It's a beautiful man, but it's not a beautiful moment, this next one. But it's the reason that I put this next photograph in, and this particular couple, Scarlett and Michael, are going to feature a lot in this stream. They were incredible. Like, you'll see the proof in this stream of how lucky I am for me to get the couples that I do, and that is never more illustrated by Scarlett and Michael. Now, the photo I'm going to show you now, the reason that I've included it is not because it's not the best shot in the world by any means, but it illustrates the value of off-camera flash. And I really want to stress, people think that off-camera flash takes a long time to set up, or that, oh, I can't use it then because I haven't got enough time. I promise you that with practice, you can use off-camera flash in virtually the same amount of time it would take you to shoot natural light. It just requires practice. And there's a few things going on in this next photograph, which I'll show you, which, because I practice it so much, it becomes so second nature, I don't even think about it. And the only difference between me being able to do this and maybe you're not quite as confident is the amount of shots we've taken with off-camera flash. I've been using off-camera flash now for 15 years. Every single shoot, more or less, that I do in that time, I'm using off-camera flash. It's become a reflex. I don't even think about it anymore. It's just something that I do, and it's as easy for me because of the practice, not because I'm a great photographer by any means, but if you do anything over and over and over and over again, it becomes easy. And that's where I'm at now, thankfully, with simple portraits I'm going to show you now. Now, I've not mentioned Flash Masters in this stream yet, but and stand by, I'm going to offer you something for free. If you want to learn about off-camera flash from the very basics, so I'm not talking about here about advanced setups with 2-3 lights and gels, everything like that. I'm talking about if you've never even touched a speed light before and you're just wanting to get into it and thinking, oh, I've got a few questions here, but I just don't know enough and I don't want to ask questions because they're silly. Then I have made, within Flash Masters, a complete hour and 15 long introduction to off-camera flash, which you can watch for free. It's split up into a number of different chapters, and I go through everything from the equipment that I use, the approach, my 4-step process, and all the good stuff, which I will really help you on your off-camera flash journey, is in that tutorial. And if you join Flash Masters for free, there is no money exchanged, then you can watch that tutorial. So all you need to do is go to Flash Masters, join up for free. You'll be able to watch that tutorial and make your own profile page completely for free, and then that will put you in a far ahead of where, you know, most photographers already are, because I've really tried to put everything that I know about the basics into that tutorial. And again, it's free, so you don't need to pay a penny for that. Now let's just pretend you've just watched that tutorial, and now I'm going to show you me using what I teach in that tutorial in action. So if this doesn't make sense to you now, don't worry, because if you go and watch that tutorial, this will be the natural next stage. So let me just show you this video now. So let's put the video on. I'm also going to show you this virtually in real time. This shot took about 1.5 minutes in total. That was it. So a little bit of background. Michael is the groom for this wedding. We've just been outside. Helen's second shooting this wedding for me. We've just been outside, take some portraits of Michael with his groomsmen in natural light, and then we've come back inside to the reception area of the wedding venue, and I've noticed some lamps.
Okay, so I think we'll put you about here.
Sorry, I think I've just been talking to myself for 5 minutes. I apologise. I don't know where I was up to. So sorry about that. What I was trying to say, because I don't think you would have heard me, is that this photograph was taken really quickly, and you're going to see it almost in real time, like 1.5 minutes, something like that. Now, on the desk, you'll see there is a lamp on a desk next to a mirror. That's what my eyes get attracted to. And I beam in on that. And this venue, Shyburn Arms, up in Lancashire, is really dark as well. Plus, this wedding was in October, so it's low light. It's a dark venue. So that lamp is actually quite bright, even though it's like early on in the day. And that's what I get attracted to. So I'm thinking, ooh, if I shoot into the mirror, then I can get a cool reflection of Michael the groom. Now, we've already shot, I don't know if I just said this or apologies, I'm repeating myself. I just didn't know if I've muted myself. We've already shot some natural light portraits, Helen and I, outside of Michael and his groomsmen. So we've got some safe shots done, and we've gone back into this lobby. I've seen this lamp. I've thought, all I need is a minute. If I get a minute, I can create something completely different to what we've just taken outside. So it's going to be a nice, simple off-camera flash portrait.
Michael, I'm going to shoot. I'll move you a second, I think. Yeah, one step this.
Now, if we look in the mirror from this angle, that is the composition that I want. So one lamp reflected, so you're getting two lamps in the photograph with Michael to the left-hand side of the lamps in the composition.
Way. Perfect, yeah. And then you're going to look as if you're looking out of that window. Again, playing with your cuffs almost, if that's okay. Sorry to
I make a mistake here. He's facing the wrong way because look in the reflection, he's the wrong way.
the wrong way around, so you're going to look that way. Oh, sorry. No, it's not mine, it's me. Then Helen, you're going to be there. You should not be in it.
Right, and that little... If you look at the left-hand side now in the mirror, that's basically the composition that we're going to go for. So I'm going to show you the next video. I don't know why I end up stopping it recording halfway through.
One still, tennis and counting.
Again, this is how long it actually takes. All I'm doing here is just making sure that the trigger's working.
Going, yeah.
I've already got go-to settings, so I already know for something like this, I'm on my 85mm here, so I'm going to be at 1.8, 200 of a second, and the ISO probably like 200 or something, and the flash power is probably on about 32. I mean, they're my go-tos, and if I use those settings, I'm going to be in the right ballpark. They just need to tweak.
That's cool.
Again, I'm going to take a safe shot, and then I'm going to create a moment, and I actually say, oh, it's look at Helen now. Sorry about that. Sorry, Helen. And it just makes him laugh. That's the moment.
Oh, so just looking down into your cuffs for me, if you are like... Sorry. Yeah, no, don't apologise. Nice. This will be a composite Helen, so I'll actually smooth in a second. Just looking towards Helen now, if that's all right. I apologise. Wait a minute. Just keep it there, keep it there. That's cool. Okay, Helen, you can come out. Done.
That's it. That's how long it takes. The whole thing there, that video clip is 36 seconds. The other one was 14. It's a minute, literally a minute. So please don't ever think that off-camera flash takes a long time. This is really simple. One light. All I'm doing is exposing for a bright object. I go through all this in that tutorial. I'm exposing for a bright object, the lamp, everything else goes very underexposed. I'm then placing my subject, Michael, into one of the dark areas and then lighting him. That's it. It's really simple. It's just practice. You have to practice. But the more you practice, it becomes so second nature. And now let me show you the photograph that we created there. So if I press me solo, take that off and then press this, there you go. So really, really simple. And again, notice that one of the other things that it's always important to remember is don't just stop when you've got your settings right. Because if you do that, you're going to forget to inject the moment. And the moment is really key because that's what's going to lift it on a human level. You know, we are all people and we react to seeing people's emotion. So if I had just took a photograph of Michael where he just stood there just looking into the light, it might be perfectly good technically, but we're not going to feel anything as people, as viewers of that photograph because there's no real moment there. As soon as I ask Michael to look at Helen and make a little joke, he starts smiling and laughing. It just lifts it because, you know, you're not going to... There's no point in getting everything right technically if that photograph has no emotional impact. So remember that as well. It's really important that we always remember that. Cool. Okay, and remember, well, if you're interested in learning more about this sort of technique, the real basics, then join Flash Masters for free, and you've got that whole tutorial. It might not always be completely for free, but it is currently. You can't just watch it publicly. You just need to make an account. But again, all free. Okay, cool. Right, let's now go on to the next one. Take me off there. Take me off there. So the next photograph is from one of my favorite. Oh, let me just check. Yeah, no questions yet. Remember, any question, please just let me know. 70 people watching. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you're really finding this useful. And 67 likes. Thank you very much. Okay, the next photograph from one of my favorite weddings of the year for two people who are now genuine, really, really amazing friends of Helen and I. If you've watched my YouTube channel before, then you'll recognize the bride, certainly, Darcy, and probably the groom, actually. He's been in lots of videos as well. They are rock stars in every single way, and it was such an honor to be asked to photograph their wedding last year because Darcy's an incredible model. She's very successful, very well known in the industry, and she doubtless knows lots of photographers. So for them to ask Helen and I to photograph their wedding, it was a massive honor. And this is one of my favorite moments from Darcy's wedding. Big shout out as well to my very good friend, Paul Flanagan, who is an exceptional photographer, but he's also... Oh, so annoying. Not only is he really amazing as a photographer, but he's equally as good as a filmmaker as well. He can do it all. So on this wedding, I was shooting the wedding as a photographer and Paul was filming the wedding. So we worked together really well for this particular photograph. So this was...
Paul does not want to see.
So this was the dad reveal. So Darcy's dad, seeing Darcy in her dress for the first time, always, if it's possible, one of my favorite times on a wedding day. Now, what we've had to do here, because this was a tricky environment to take this photograph, because you can't really get a sense of it from the video. Again, one of the annoying things about showing you these 360 videos is it makes it look like there's lots of light around. There wasn't. This was a really dark space. Again, this was a relatively winterish wedding. I think it was, September, I think. But again, not the best weather. And it was quite dark. And the only light source was these windows. And again, it looks bright. Trust me, it was not bright. So we needed the reveal to happen with Darcy's father in the light, because if he wasn't, he'd be way too underexposed. Now, if you look at this photograph, just look at that little corridor, that was really dark. We couldn't have him seeing Darcy in that corridor. If that happened there, it wouldn't work as a photograph. Now, the problem is there's no door. So we had to get Darcy's dad, Andrew, through into the window light, and the only way we could do that without him seeing Darcy was obviously to ask him to close his eyes. So Paul here is taking Darcy's dad by the hand and leading him through, but his eyes are closed, and that's key to this because we don't want him to see Darcy in the corridor. So let's play on, and Paul did exceptionally well.
Keep going. Now is your step. There we go. Keep going. And then
I positioned Darcy where she is here because I know that I want to shoot over her shoulder. She has to be in the photograph for me for context. There's no point in just getting Darcy's dad's reaction because as a viewer of the photograph, we don't know what's the reaction for. We need to see both elements.
Yeah, a bit further back if you're able to, sorry. And then one step to the right, if that's okay.
I'm for this photograph on my 50mm 1.2.
You're perfect. And then one more step to the right for good luck, if that's all right. One big step, yeah, perfect.
So keep them eyes closed until we see us, so that's okay.
Also notice that when we actually do the reveal, neither Paul or I say a word because this is a really fragile and emotional moment, this, for both Darcy and her father. What we don't want to do is go, oh, do this, do that. That will wreck it. It has to be authentic and it has to be about them two, not about us. So you'll notice that once we count down, we just don't say anything. And that's, I've seen videos before where photographers, dare I say it, will try and encourage moments or ask people to do things. It just becomes about you then, not about the authenticity of the moment. To prove how dark it is, 1.2, 2/50 of a second at ISO 800. That is dark.
Keep them eyes closed.
You say Paul, because I'm set.
Keep them eyes closed. So in 3, 2, 1, go for it.
Set me up with your makeup done.
Just want to pause it here. I'm in medium burst mode, I believe, on my Sony A9 II, and I think I'm right in saying that might be 30 odd photographs already in the buffer. I make no excuses for taking a lot of photographs of the powerful moments, shooting through the moment, because I'm not good enough to be able to press that shutter 3 times and those be the most powerful moments of that whole process. It's not going to happen. So I'm just trying to keep my composition how I want it and shooting through the moment. We've got the technology there to do that, so I don't know why people have an issue with anybody who shoots a lot, because I'm not spraying and praying. I'm taking a lot. I'm shooting through that whole moment. And again, this is going to last a lifetime, these photographs, for everyone involved in this. So take as many as you need.
Set me up with your makeup done. So to get good content, this one. Your buttonhole's nice. Oh. Thank you. You look good too.
So such a nice reaction. It was beautiful, that. So again, let's now look at the end photographs. Bear with me a second. This was all teed up before, but the way that Ecamm is working, it's not making it easy for me. So let me take me off there, go here. Oh, hopefully this is still working. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. I'm going to take me off the screen for these. There we go. Yeah, I thought these were just really, really powerful. And one of my favourite reactions. Darcy did say that Dad would give us good moments, and he certainly did. But again, I think the whole point of me showing that is just remember how fragile and how important these photographs are. You know, and it's really key that we remember that and that we treat the moment with kid gloves, because the moment you start interacting too much, asking for things, you're not going to get that. You're just going to get what they think you want. And I'm a big one for not wanting to do that. I want it to be very natural. So, and in fact, Paul is in the chat. There you go. That is the hand holder himself, photographer, filmmaker extraordinaire, Paul. And yeah, me and Paul have become very good friends over the years. He's been a member of my Patreon of Flashmasters, and he's incredibly talented, very, very talented. So thank you for joining, Paul. Oh, sorry, James. I just noticed you've said grid and magsphere. That's obviously not for that photograph. What was the one before? Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes. The shot that I showed just before this of Michael, the groom, the shot in the reflection was a grid and a magsphere. Thank you, James. Sorry, I should have said that before. Muted. Hopefully you can hear me okay now. Hi, Emma. Hope you're well. Hope all is good in sunny Portsmouth. Her hair is appearing a bit red in your camera. Why is that so? Don't worry about the white balance of the 360 camera. It's not. It's probably a bit off. Yeah, the video camera, you know, the 360 is probably going to be a bit all over the place. This is why I want an A9 or 3. My A7 III fills the buffer in no time. The A9 III is on my. Hopefully in 2025 I'll get an A9 III. I would love an A9 III. If Sony are watching, I'll gladly take one. I'll do a review on it. It'd be cool. Okay, cool. So let's go on to the next one. The next photograph is from a wedding ceremony. Some posing questions from the window light image. Yeah, go for it, Christopher. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to set the next one going now, but I'll come back to your questions, Christopher, if that's all right. Okay, next up, we've got a video. Now, I'm second shooting this wedding, again, for Helen. And this was in a teepee. I do not like teepee weddings. They're horrible. In terms of the orange, the fact that the teepee comes down. Teepee, by the way, I'm sure everybody knows, are like big tents. But the way that they come down at angles, it means you can't put light stands up. Ugh, not a fan. And this particular wedding ceremony was very tricky. So Helen and I lit this with two AD200s facing the couple with a mag sphere on each one. And trust me, again, the 360 camera is being very forgiving to the light. It makes it look a lot nicer than it was, but this was low light. So let's go in and show you this video. So if I pause this here, you'll see my mouse pointer, but just to the right, you'll see one of the speed lights, the 8200. You see the light stand. And then to the left there, just the mirror image on the other side, but it's behind one of the drapes is the other one. So two lights facing the couple. Now, Helen is at the front. This is her wedding. I'm second shooting it. So Helen's at the front of this ceremony, and I'm at the back just to get different angles. Please remember as well, this is a stream about me showing, a lot of these are off-camera flash, but please never think that every photograph that I'm taking is. 90% of what I'm taking on a wedding day is natural light. I've already got the safe shots here. There's only so much you can do from the back of a ceremony space like this. So I've already got that. I'm now thinking, what else can I do? Because I've got the safe shots. But don't think that everything I'm taking is like weird and wacky. It's not. Again, 35mm f1. Oh no, sorry, I'm lying. 24mm 1.4 lens, but again, the same portable makeup mirror.
Well done. Thank you very, very much, sir. There is your seat. Richard, all that I have, I give. All that I am, I share.
Okay, let me show you the photographs on this one now as well. It's going to put these over here. Again, the important thing to remember is that I've already got these safe shots. So I would not go into a ceremony and immediately try and take the photographs I'm going to show you now. That would just be silly. Techniques, even during wedding ceremonies. You don't have to just use these techniques for portraits. In fact, some of my favorite examples of these photographs are when they are natural moments. I love that. Oh, muted again. Yeah, sorry, it's because thank you for letting me know that I'm muted. I know the reason why. It's just a technical thing. Happy New Year, Tony. Thank you very much, Michael. I appreciate that. Alex, good friend of mine as well. Very talented photographer by an A1. I need the global shutter. What can I say? For me, the A9 III wins because of the global shutter. No more high-speed sync. No more banding at all. That's the one I want, I'm afraid. But I'm sure the A1's great. Okay, next up. Right. I know at the moment that there is one of the most popular shots that people like taking is champagne spray shots, including me. And within Flashmasters, we're seeing lots of those photographs. And I'm going to show you 2 behind the scenes photographs now of champagne spray shots from weddings. But it's really important that I stress that the technique that I use is all thanks to one of my favorite photographers in the world, Jeff Tisman. Jeff very, very kindly made an incredible Flashmaster tutorial for us, showing his entire process of how he creates his champagne spray shots. And his champagne spray shots are the best in the world. He is the best at this of anybody out there. And the proof of that is that so many photographers, including me, try to emulate his techniques and it's not just about camera settings, it's about how you interact with your couple, how you get them to move during the champagne spray shots. Everything is what I'm going to show you now is taken from Jeff Tisman's tutorial. So please remember, this is not me. I'm here. This is me showing you how good the tutorial is because I'm using it verbatim for the photographs I'm going to show you next. In fact, what I'm going to do is show you a little trailer for Jeff's tutorial because it's exceptionally good. It's absolutely incredible. So I'm going to show you the behind the scenes videos, but all the techniques is from the GOAT himself, Jeff Tisman.
1, 2, 3, go! Yeah! Look at each other! Blow. Turn towards me, Amanda. Amanda, you're not at me. No. You. Oh, you. Awesome. So that was it, guys. That was amazing.
So I hope I made that clear enough. I do not want anybody to watch this stream and think, oh, Neil, you're really good at that. If I am, it's just because I've learned from the best. So this is me. This is my homage to Mr. Tisman. Tizzers himself. Right, okay, let's do it. So the first one, again, is from Darcy and Matt's wedding. Yeah, okay, so we shake first with your thumbs over.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then go for it.
Right, you ready?
Ready.
Count us in.
Counts down.
3, 2, 1.
Ready? Hey! Look at me.
Yes, look at each other. Keep it going, yes, yes. Yes, it's for Jeff. Perfect.
Oh.
What a trooper!
Wait.
I've got this in the face.
Oh my god, I've got loads in my face.
We got it, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look at that.
I love that.
Okay, so I'm going to put these images now. If it mutes for the next 5 seconds, I know why. Just bear with me a second, sorry. Okay, I think we're good. Or we will be in a second. I'm going to say a weird word here. I'll say it in a second. I want to know if I'm muted at a certain point or not. Okay, so here are those shots. All this was one go. We only actually used 2 bottles of champagne. Well, it's say champagne. It's actually no Secco. Oh. Again, I love these. So much energy and life and vibrancy, and they're so fun to do. big thank you to Helen as well for braving the mag box above them both. But yeah, I love these shots, and we're seeing so many of them now within Flashmats as well. So I know that everybody loves these. They're really addictive, and I promise you, it's literally the settings and everything. As I say, it's copy and pasted from Jeff's tutorial. So, you know, again, actually, let me show you the next one first, and I'll tell you a bit more about these. The next one, let me just hide that, is from Scarlett and Michael's wedding. The same technique, the same setup, all Jeff set up again.
Right, just once, let me get into position. Yeah, you're perfect. Okay, so just shake and go. Yeah, looking back at each other. Yeah. Just looking back at Michael's squirt. That's good. That, you see, I can then put some extra squirt in if need be. Yeah, Michael, look at all the spray you
It's brilliant.
You're a natural at this.
Thank you. They were so good. I love them too. Okay, let's have a look at the photographs. Love that one. I've used that as a thumbnail for a previous video. I just love the look on their faces. And Michael was so good at spraying. That's another one as well. So, question here from... Okay, so first of all, let me just... It's a flash far away on the back of the subject in that photo. No, it's not. It's not at all. It's probably... Again, I'll try and talk in meters, maybe 2-3 meters at the most, I would say. There is 2 speed lights. One's lighting a couple, one's lighting the background, and a light above. But there's so much more to it than that. As I say, this is a lot about it's bringing the energy, making sure that the couple are posed well, that they know how to actually spray the champagne. Honestly, I know I sound like a salesman, but if you were to join Flashmasters for 1 month, even if it's just for that tutorial, it'd be worth it. You can join for $25 and you'll get that tutorial, and you will love what it teaches you. That's why I don't want to stress too much about this, just because this is Jeff's thing, and all my thanks go to him. Caroline said, if you don't have a second shooter, how would you light these? I just have a light stand with it close, up and down, you know, like, so the mag, because I'm using a mag shoe, I could have it slightly pointing down, so it'd be similar. May not be quite as good, but that's what I would do. I mean, in an ideal world, you'd have a C stand, but that'd be the way that I would go around there. Do you supply the fish? Yes, I do. So in the UK, I'm not sure where you're based, Tracy, but we buy no Seco from just from Amazon. You can get it like, I think that's like a crate of about 6 for like £15. And I take 4 to each wedding. Now, hopefully you don't need 4. It's just in case. What you don't want to do is like have a go once and it doesn't quite work, and then not have another go. So yeah, that's the way that I do it. Sorry, my back blade just kicked in, so the stream might have gone a bit poor for a second, but we're back now. There you go. Thank you very much, Paul. There you go. From the man himself, Paul, who's been helped. He was in the Darcy and Dad video. I completely agree. I can't. I just know that coming from me, it's going to sound salesish, but it's really not. Let's see, Tony. When we do the champagne, we'll talk to. Yeah, let's do it. I don't know what that will be, but that sounds very exciting, Tony. Yeah. How much do I charge for destination weddings? Email me. We'll come to some sort of agreement. That genuinely, please do. I would love to do any sort of destination wedding again. Yeah, no Seco, alcohol free, correct. And do you get good or bottom shelf? Oh yeah, it's the cheapest of the cheap. So unless I'm doing your destination wedding, obviously, then I'm going to bring the good stuff. But no, cheapest I can get, and it works out really. I mean, those shots, you're probably, I don't know, like, what's it costing, like £2-3 a bottle or something, but it's well worth it. And couples love. You'll see that for both Darcy and Matt's, and for Scarlett and Michael's, I show them the back of the camera because they get so excited and they love to see them. Yeah, so I think they're brilliant to do. So yeah, but they are cheap. Yeah. Cheers to you, Tracy. Here's the 2025. Would you use a large clear bag to protect the mag box? I don't do that, but I can tell you that I have had a mag box get absolutely drenched and it dried fine. It just smells a bit sweeter now. So, yeah, you could do that, but if I'm being honest, no, I don't. Jeff does talk about protection for your camera, though, because you might have saw that little trailer where he made that, because within that tutorial, you see Jeff doing this live on a shoot, and the couple do turn around and spray him for a laugh. Now, if you do that without protection, you might have an issue with your camera. But Jeff always wears protection, so I've heard. So, okay, let's move on to gridded or not on the softbox. Good question. No grid. So the grid, the job of a grid is to limit the spill of the light and the light to not hit other things that you don't want the light to hit. For these photographs, there's nothing for the light to fall onto, so it doesn't really matter about using a grid. So, and because you want to make sure that the light is hitting both in this case Scarlett and Michael. The grid may mean that one of them doesn't get hit, so I would suggest no grid. I'm sure that's what Jeff says in his tutorial as well. Okay, let me just take this off here. Couldn't agree more. Thank you. Checked in the post. Okay, let me go off here. Let me press this. If I press... Oh, look at this. We are flying, everyone. Thank you again, everyone, for joining. If you could please hit the like button if you've not done so already, I'd be very, very grateful. Every little like does help in terms of getting this stream out there to more and more people. Also, the last thing I want to say on Flashmat, well, it won't be the last thing, let's be honest, is if you do want to join, you can join either on a monthly membership plan, in which case it's just like $25 a month and you get access to everything, and that we've done that just in case you think, oh, I don't know, I don't really want to commit. You're only going to spend $25, cancel it straight away, and then you don't get charged again, but you'll have a month then of all the content. We're very confident that you will stay, and I'm not going to talk about all the things that you get, but there's loads, all the tutorials, all the live streams. That's like 50, 60 live streams now. You can enter our bi-monthly awards. You can join our Facebook members group, ask questions. All our ambassadors, including Jeff, are in there. You can ask him questions. It's insanely good value. So if you're just thinking, oh, I'm not sure, I'm going to dip my toe in, go for the monthly, and then you can always change after. But if you think, actually, I want the best value over the course of a year, then if you join using the code FLASH10, you'll save 10% off that annual price. So that's the best. That works out as being the cheapest way of doing it. And again, you get access to everything if you do that, including Jeff's tutorial, the introduction to off-camera flight. There's loads. You go to the website. There's loads and loads on there, and much, much more to come always. Right, let me just cover that. Let's move on to the next one now. Next, we've got one of my biggest privileges of last year was being asked to speak at an incredible photography conference called Guiding Light in Ireland. This was a beautiful event. Like the camaraderie and the love that was in the room during this conference was extraordinary. And Sam and Mark, who run it, should be incredibly proud of what they've achieved. I would recommend it to anyone. Guiding Light, it's called. Go and check them out. It's an annual conference, say, in Ireland. And whoa, just a bit of a off topic, but Ireland, the north coast of Ireland is stunning. I had no idea. I was really naive to how beautiful Northern Ireland is, and that northern coastal road is beautiful. So Helen and I loved going over there, and and I say that was a 2-day conference, and Helen and I were teaching along with our very good friend and Flashmaster ambassador Natalie Martin. Go and check Natalie out. She's insane. And whilst at Guiding Light, we actually asked Natalie if she'd like to be an ambassador for Flashmasters daughters. Thankfully, she accepted, and she's one of my favorite photographers. Her use of light, both natural light, of off-camera flash, is exquisite, and she was also educating with us at Guiding Light, so it was a real honor to be alongside Natalie and Helen teaching there. But anyway, whilst there, I got some behind the scenes. Now, annoyingly, I did a whole session on how to create a fake sunset. It went really well. Forgot to turn the camera on. In fact, one of the biggest problems you will have if you do get like a little behind the scenes camera like this is just remembering to press that record button, because if you don't, obviously you're not going to get anything. And I thought I was recording a half-hour session and none of it was recorded, which is good, but I did get a little bit when we went on the second evening to the giant Causeway. Like, what a privilege to shoot there and teach there. It was amazing. And what I've got here is a little bit of behind the scenes, 2 videos from the Giant Causeway that, so you'll see a lot of photographers around. They were the attendees at Guiding Light. Sam and Mark are there, Natalie's there, Helen's there. And we were all teaching at the same time, all sort of passing on little tips and what we would do and how we'd post couples and all that sort of good stuff. So this is a little bit of behind the scenes of a silhouette photograph that, fully enough, when we first pulled up at the Giant Causeway, both Natalie and I saw the same thing, and that's what this photograph's of. So here we go.
Yes. I would suggest, though, because I'm not getting anything in the bottom, getting low, and just trying to keep... I try and put the sun literally behind them, so one of them's blocking the sunlight.
Yeah. Not the lights. Oh, mind if I tell them to, like, walk? Like...
No.
Yes! You can't shout at me when I walk you over up. It's like a health hazard.
So just to talk a little bit about what's going on here, we had one of our couples on this ridge, and this shot for me was not about trying to get detail in all the incredible stones. It's a World Heritage Site, this. It's incredible, obviously you can see there. It wasn't so much about trying to get all that detail. It was about just a simple silhouette shot to teach what you can do if you've got your couple high up and a bright sun. So the sky was clear. Sun's quite powerful still at this point, and what I always like to do is place the sun right behind my couple so that the couple are stood in front of the sun, and that means, because as I said before, the human eye will go straight to the brightest point of the photograph first. If we place our couple right in that sun, your eye as a viewer is going to go straight to them. So that's what I always like to do, and then I just play around. So again, I've got the makeup mirror out here. Again, 35mm lens, the 1.8. I told you it's one of my favorite lenses, and I'm just doing a simple reflection, which I'll show you in a second. That's Natalie, by the way, to the right, and Helen to the left. I am a thorn within 2 roses.
Sam, you can hide behind and do a dress swish if you want.
Okay, so let me just show you that photograph. Again, this is not to show off the Causeway, it's just to demonstrate how I use silhouettes. So nothing, wow about that at all, but it's just to show you again how effective I feel like the mirror can be. Okay, let's now go on to the next photograph. Did the same thing again, but I use the fractal filter. Again, you'll see me using it. This is a little piece of glass that I shoot through and creates quite a cool effect.
In raw, you might be able to bring it a tiny bit, but you're still not going to get the same.
No, especially if you're exposing for the sky. However, the only other difference, if you can get one near is completely block the sun, so you're not exposing for that bit, then you might be able to bring it in.
Like towards us, almost, like here this way. Yeah, and like holding our hands as if you're walking down, that's it.
Just notice it so I don't mention it again or get asked. Where I'm holding that in relation to the camera, it's not right in front of the lens, it's a few inches in front of it. But again, you see the results live in the EVF.
Yeah, we'll go around the other side.
Okay, and I will show you that photograph now. So again, nothing wow at all, but it's just to show you a couple of different effects you can get with different different techniques, the mirror and the fractal filter. Okay, we'll now move on to a off-camera flash portrait, again from Guiding Light at the Causeway. This was really exciting. This is one of my favourite photographs of the year, and favourite probably like the experience of taking this shot was brilliant as well. Like, one of the most incredible places I've ever been teaching, which is what I love, on an exceptionally like beautiful evening as well. It doesn't get better than this.
Yeah, we're good settings wise now. Aaron, can I see you a bit more this side, please? And then arms round so I can see your arm. That's it. Now you're perfect. Now, Helen, just point it so it's pointing towards me a little bit more. That's it there. Yeah, this is perfect. We just need a wave.
So what I'm doing here is composing very wide. I think I'm actually using my 16-35mm lens for this shot because I want this shot to be about the landscape. You know, obviously where we are is stunning. But I also want to make sure that your eye goes to the couple. And obviously, as we look at this from a natural light point of view, the couple are by no means the brightest part of the photograph. And I always like my couples to be the brightest part of the photograph because that's going to mean that your eye, as a viewer, goes straight to them. So how do we do that in a bright environment? Well, we underexpose the environment and then we add a light onto the couple. That's going to lower the environment, which in my words is layer 1. And it's going to brighten up the couple, which is layer 2. Again, that makes sense if you've watched the tutorial. Go and watch that completely for free at Flashmasters. But when you do that, it's going to take your eye from the sky, which would be the distracting element, to the couple. And that's important. So I've got my settings right here, but I needed a wave to add the impact. Big thank you to Helen, who was lighting the couple here. Notice that she will be in this photograph, but what I can't remember either, I will get rid of her afterwards with generative fill in Photoshop, or I'll have asked Helen to move out of the shot. Once I've got it, I'll take another one and I'll stitch them both together, which is like a composite technique. And there are videos on my channel where I show you exactly how to do that. It's very simple. Just have a look back. And in the past, about a year ago, I did a video, I think I've done 2 or 3, showing how to edit these photographs, but it's very simple. But the main thing I need now is the wave.
Head's nice and close. Sorry, just got to wait for a big wave. It will be worth it. It looks fucking epic. Come on.
The reason I'm getting a bit angsty waiting for this wave is because we're right at sunset and these other things that not just I want to do, but Natalie will want to do, Helen will want to do, and I don't want to take up too much of the couple's time. So I'm like, come on.
Neil, just say I'm Neil Redfern.
I know.
Oh, it must be the wind that thing keeps pulling it or something.
And then heads closer, you two, really close together. That's it. Now there's somebody behind. Oh no, do you mind if I'm sorry? Sorry, my bad, no!
That, I think it was more or less the moment. Okay. And let's have a look at the photograph. There you go. And again, just to stress, if I didn't use off-camera flash there, you wouldn't see the detail in the sky as much. You certainly wouldn't be seeing the couple as quick as you do when you look at it, because there'd be no light source on them. maybe a little bit of natural light, but that would also be hitting the rocks, the water. They wouldn't pop. This is why off-camera flash is so powerful. And yes, you can do it in natural light, but it won't have, for me anyway, it won't have that impact that one does. And again, big thank you to Helen there. The biggest challenge that Helen had here was trying to get the mag box in front of the couple, because that's where, that's window light. That is the pose that I showed you earlier in the stream. So it's the same pose, but it was impossible for Helen standing in front because of, well, she'd be in the ocean. So yeah, she did very, very well. Okay, let's just go back to some of the, and again, big thank you to Sam and to Mark and the whole team at Guiding Light for inviting myself, Helen, Natalie to go and teach there. We all loved it. It was incredible. Go and check them out. And if you're interested in a photography conference this year, could not recommend Guiding Light enough. You will love it. Absolutely amazing. Okay, let me just come off here. So we've got some questions. Thank you as well. Thank you, Natalie. There you go. Our Flashmaster ambassador and star of Guiding Light has joined us. Thank you for joining, Natalie. Thank you, Sam and Steve. Thank you, Andrew. Question here from Alan about, is your 360 camera set on top of your hot shoe or mounted on your shoulder? So good question. I did show it at the beginning of the stream, but for those that maybe have joined after the beginning, so if I'm just shooting natural light, I have this mount. It's a small rig mount, it's called. Just by the buy of Amazon. It just goes on the bottom of the camera there, and it's rock solid. Once it's on there, this is me shaking the camera attached to the mount, not the camera itself. It doesn't go anywhere. That goes onto the hot shoe, like that. And it's really, really solid. Again, shouldn't do this. Don't do this at home, kids. But it's not going anywhere. It's rock solid, that mount. So again, small rig. Not paid. I wish it was. So yeah, that goes on there. And that's another reason why I personally use the Godox X2T trigger, because it's got a hot shoe mount. If I didn't have that, there are solutions to still use a 360 or any behind the scenes camera. If you don't have a hot shoe on your trigger, you can buy like a handle that goes round here, which I do actually have as well. You can, there are housings that you can do, but for me, just being quick and fast, that's my setup. And yeah, I love this camera for behind the scenes. Say everything you're seeing tonight on this stream, behind the scenes wise, is from the Insta360 X4. And again, just to stress to anyone who's maybe thinking about buying one, I think the X4 is way better than the previous incarnations because, again, I did say this earlier, but the lenses are really fragile. There's two lenses and they're quite bulbous on a 360 camera, and they have to be because they're filming the side, so they have to come out. But it just means that if you've got this dangling and you scratch one of the lenses, the camera's virtually, it's no good anymore. It's almost like ready to just be a paperweight. But the X4 allows you to add on these little housings for the lenses. So it just adds a bit of protection. So it does mean if I were to knock the camera and what would have scratched the lens might just scratch the housing, you can just buy a new one. So it's really important that you use those, especially if you're working fast and stuff and a camera might be dangling at times. Yeah, it's good to know that it's safe. And again, the X4, the battery life is amazing. I love it. So I have that on now for all my shoots, whether it be weddings, YouTube shoots. Please make Indian wedding behind the scenes from Ved. I've got 2 videos from Indian weddings, at least 2. If you go back on my channel, I can't remember when, but just go back and you'll see that there are at least 2 videos, if not more, from Indian weddings. Admittedly, Indian weddings in the UK, but yeah, you can see one of them. I remember it was amazing where the groom was arriving with horses and all the music and the the dancing, I loved it. Yeah, so that's already on my channel if you just want to go back and have a look. Oh, yeah. Chris, can you reiterate some of the posing tips for the couple in relation to arm and hands? Yeah, basically, short lighting is it's a very photogenic way of posing your couples with natural light, well, any lighting. And it basically means that, again, very quickly to go through, the human eye, I've mentioned it a couple of times, looks at the brightest part of the photograph first. And you can always test that, fun little experiment. If you've got any photograph lying around in print, or you've got like maybe a laptop, or your phone, turn the photograph upside down and just look away and look at that photograph again. You'll be almost disoriented, or your eyes are disorientated, because we're primed to look at human faces. We just go to them, but not when they're upside down. So you'll notice that where your eye will go is the brightest part of that photograph. So that's a good little thing to know, because we can manipulate that and make sure that the brightest part is where we want your eye to look, i.e. the couple. Now, the problem with that is if the couple are lit badly in that bright part, it can look very unflattering. So, for example, if I turn this light up, or let's have this light here, I'm facing this light completely. So all of my chest here is in light. The moment I start to move away, let me turn this one off. If I start to move away from the light, the majority of my body now is in shadow. It just makes me look a little bit, well, it's not easy at the minute, but it makes me look a little bit like I've lost weight. So that's what I do in terms of posing bodies, away from the light, looking back towards light, because then the brightest part is just a slither of light, not the whole body, if that makes sense. And I do the same with the face. So I want the face to look towards the light like this, because that means that the majority of the face is in light. Sorry, I'm trying to look at this camera. It's very difficult. But by looking towards the light, it means that you've got the majority of the face is going to be in darkness, but you'll get a little bit of, if you pose like I do, I'm trying to get a little bit of triangle, which is Rembrandt lighting, just on the dark side of the face. And that's really photogenic. Like if I go back to that photograph that we were showing before, let's just go back to Natalie and Kane's. Again, I'm sure that I've got a video about this on my channel. Okay, let's just have a look. So you see there that Natalie is facing the light at like a 90-degree angle. So the right-hand side of her face is in shadow. I think that's really, really nice. And notice how the light is not good on Kane's face if we're just comparing the two. That's because we're short lighting Natalie. I'm also shooting a bit higher as well, shooting down, which is a more flattering angle. And then if we look at the other photograph here, body away from the light. So majority of Natalie's body there is in shadow, a bit more flattering. Her face, however, is in the light. And then we just added in that moment. I hope that helps. But I'm always just basically trying to make sure that the bride is in the best light possible. Let me just close that. Thank you very much, Sam. Oh, do you want to, should we go to Giant's Causeway? I would love it. Do you turn your trigger off for plate shots for your composite? I should do. Sometimes I forget. It doesn't matter really. Because as long as there's no light affecting that area where the light was, it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, you should. You definitely should. And question from James: do you spot metering when short lightering? I just eyeball it through the EVF. Everything that I do is fully manual. So I'm not really metering for anything. Other than what I do always have turned on is the zebra lines. So when I'm looking through my EVF, if there's any areas of the photograph that are going to be overexposed, in other words, the highlights have gone completely blown out, then I'll see that with the zebra line. So I just make sure as best I can that there's no zebra lines. That's all I do. And oftentimes I'll rejig the brightest point in post. So yeah, I don't really use any metering at all. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Right, I'm going to look to stop this at 2 hours. I've got a few more to go. I might not be able to get through them all. If I don't, I will do another live. Please let me know in the comments, though, if you've enjoyed this and you think you'd like to see another one, because I do have lots of these, and we've not gone through quite as fast as I thought. So I'm going to try and finish in the next 20 minutes, but let me know if you've enjoyed this, because it does make a difference to know that, that you've enjoyed it. Okay, next up is another photograph from Scarlett and Michael's wedding. Now, there is a bit of a story to this one. When I said before that I'm very lucky to have the best couples, I really meant it. And that has never been illustrated better than what I'm about to show you here. So I mentioned earlier that the venue that Scarlett and Michael got married is really lovely, but it's quite cozy, and it doesn't give you many opportunities for outdoor shots. So what we did, we went off-site, and Scarlett had found a little bridge about 2 miles away from the wedding venue that she was keen to go to. So I drove with Helen in the passenger seat and Scarlett and Michael in the back of the car, and we went to this bridge. Now, this bridge, as you will see, was not easy to get to. It's a very thin little bridge, but to get to it, you have to walk through it's a very muddy sort of overgrown area. So you basically like walking through a big bush. And again, bearing in mind this is October, so it's not easy. And obviously Scarlett's got on a really beautiful wedding dress, so she preempted this. It was all her idea, and I was loving the fact that she wanted to do this. When we got to the location, Scarlett, didn't want obviously to ruin her dress, so she'd brought a huge bag that she put over herself in order to protect the dress, and that alone was amazing. There you go. This is us walking to the bridge. These are the best coupling. This is exactly what I want my couple to be like. They are all about the moment, all about the photography, and they're not bothered if my dress gets a little bit dirty. Who cares? Because you're making memories. This is why I'm very grateful that I don't have couples that are scared to go out with a bit of wind or a bit of rain. And the reason that my couples are happy to do that is because I'm showing photographs on my social media, on my website, of these sorts of shots. So I'm not going to get brides that are really precious about their dresses, or grooms that are precious about their suits booking me, because they know that what I do is I will go outside come rain, hail, sunshine, wind, and create really nice memories and experiences for them. And this was the best example I have of that. So we've now drove in my car to a little lay-by just in the middle of the road, and we've jumped out. Scarlett's put on the bag. She's also taken her shoes off, put on wellies. All this was pre-prepared. Put on that huge bag, and then she goes off on an adventure with Helen to this bridge. And what I'm going to show you now is the video of us at the bridge. Now, I had it easy here because I'm stood on the road. I mean, I could have got run over, so maybe I had it hardest. Yeah, I need some sympathy. So I'm stood on the road, but they had to make the trek to the bridge, through all the undergrowth, through the mud, and get onto the bridge. And it just proves it's just an amazing memory from last year. So this is what we did on the bridge.
Yeah, please, that's the triggering, yeah. So if we can, Helen, first of all, right above, is it wide enough for you?
What I like about this, they're already on the bridge in position, more or less. You can see them in the distance. This is the time I say, is it safe? Obviously, I was waiting for, they're already on it, so I know it was. But I'm trying to look concerned. You know, I'm a nice guy.
Is this safe? Is it safe? From here, it looks like it's like that wide.
Like that's going to make any difference at all. I know I want this photograph. So yeah, it's safe. It's definitely safe.
Okay, I don't want to risk anyone. It looks epic because it looks like you're on like the tiniest, thinnest ledge. Oh, cool. Helen can do a handstand. That's it, Helen, perfect. So just look at each other, you two, first of all.
Little bit about the setup for this. Helen is holding a mag box. This is one of my go-to shots now. I love taking shots where the couple are lit with the mag box. This is the Magbox Pro 24 Octa. And the mag box is in the shot. Now, why is the mag box in the shot? Why don't we just include the mag box, put it further away? Because the closer the light source, so the bigger the light source as well, relative to the couple, the softer the light will be. Also, you obviously need less flash power as well because you're physically closer to the couple. So to get the best light, you need the softbox to be as close as possible to the couple. That means that the softbox is going to be in the photograph. Now, that doesn't matter, especially with modern technology, because we've got two options there. We can either use generative fill in Photoshop or Lightroom to clone out that area, and Photoshop and Lightroom now are really good at doing that, far better than they used to be. Photoshop especially is incredible at getting rid now of distracting elements like Helen and a softbox. Or we do what we've spoken about and a couple of people have chatted about in the comments, a composite, either way, and that's basically where you're taking a shot with the mag box or the lighting in the photograph. You then ask your assistant to take themselves outside of the shot, and you take another one and you replace where they were with the other photograph. You basically blend in two photographs together to get rid of the softbox. Again, if you're interested in knowing how to do this, there are videos on my channel where I show you exactly how to do it in Photoshop. It's really easy. And the decision that I make as to whether I'm going to use generative fill or I'm going to use a composite technique is always down to how easy will it be to get rid of them. So with this particular example, Helen is going to be very small in the frame and the background is very consistent and even. So that means that generative fill it will find it really easy. If Helen was much closer in the frame, or much bigger in the frame rather, and I felt like actually it's quite distracting, that background, it's quite complex, then without a doubt I would do the composite technique. But either way, you should get good results. But remember, the reason that we do this and we have the softbox in the shot first is that is how you get the best quality of light. So don't just think, oh, I'm just going to put it outside of the frame and light them that way, because you're going to get such a bigger spread of light as well. It's not going to be anywhere near as well controlled. So that's why we do it. Should just say as well, sorry, I'm on my Sony 16-35mm lens for this. And what you're going to see me do now is take a shot and critique. That's really important when you're taking off-camera flash photograph. When I'm taking these shots, everything is in manual. The flash is in manual. The camera's in manual. So I know that once I've got my settings correct, assuming that the ambient light is not going to change, and it's not here, you can see it's very overcast, I can just keep on shooting knowing that every shot will be correct. So remember, take a test shot and give yourself the time to critique it.
That's good, Helen. Just got to turn it down a little bit. Perfect, you two. Scarlett, with your left hand, can you please pick up the back of your dress? Yeah. And then just hold it like out, like the bottom corner of it, if that makes sense. Helen will show you. Yeah, that's it, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, and just look at each other again. Michael, arm round. That's it, yeah.
Notice as well here, and I've learned this from so many of our Flashmasters ambassadors and members, I didn't used to light this way. And you'll know what I mean by that is that the light source is now virtually above Scarlett and Michael rather than slightly above and coming from the side. It gives beautiful light, and my inspiration for this, or the fact that I've copied them, is Kristen Cardona, Jeff Tisman, Tim Campanen, so many people, Jesse and Moira LaPlante, so many, especially US-based photographers, use this technique, and I just look at their photograph and think, I love that light. And that is because their light source, their softbox, is above the couple, and it just means that you get this really beautiful fall off. So the light affects the couple from here, and then it fades away into nothing. It doesn't really affect the bottom of the couple, and I love it. So that's what me and Helen replicate now. So when I'm lighting for Helen, say we second shoot for each other's weddings, I will be doing what Helen's doing here. If she can convince me to get onto the bridge, I'll be holding that light, that mag box up above the couple, so that you're getting that lovely fall off. And Helen's doing a great job here of doing that.
Gorgeous, you two!
Fun fact, the bibs that you're hearing were often actually Scarlett and Michael's wedding guests going to the evening reception, and they just saw them on a random bridge on the way. I didn't think that this shot was a portrait shot, but I'm now taking portraits because of Reels and TikTok. Oh, I'm on TikTok now. Go and search me out on TikTok. It's a vicious place, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of TikTok, but I am on there. Yeah, I'm getting down with the kids. That's why I'm taking portrait images now.
Okay, we've got to change the lens!
Just change now to the 50mm. You'll see in a second when I show you the photographs that the 1635, that the couple was tiny in the shot. And I didn't mind that, but I was also conscious that I wanted to get a bit closer. So that's why I've gone to the 50.
That's perfect, you two! Helen, can you spoon them? Helen, can you spoon them in if that's okay? Smash it, you two!
Reassure them all the time that it's looking good. See, look at that car. I'm risking my life here. I got the worst job.
Perfect, thank you, Helen! Yeah. Thank you.
Car was waiting, which is very kind of him. This again really is the safe shot. You know, it's the window light portrait. It's the same posing that I've shown you a couple of
Helen,
times.
just a little bit further away if you can, and midges.
And Helen is holding that light.
That's it, yeah. Just looking back at each other.
It's almost like replicating the window light in a way. But once I've got that, remember, I'm now going to think, what else can I do to make it a bit more interesting? And you'll see me doing that in a second. So I've got this on a 1635. I've now got it on the 50.
Perfect. The last one. Is it possible for them to, Helen, to walk and you light them? You'd be like crabs.
Like crabs.
Wait a second. Can I turn you up a bit? Yeah, if you can keep that same distance away, Helen, we won't go far. Yeah, go for it. Looking back at each other.
Sorry,
Perfect,
Helen, for asking you to walk backwards on a very thin bridge like this, holding a mag box.
Yeah, perfect. Go just do one more on another lens, but that would...
Okay, cool. Right, again, let's have a look at those. Helen there saying it's proper squeaky bum time for her. You know I'd do the same for you. Yeah, give or take. Okay, right. Let me... Okay, and that's the first one. So you'll see there is no Helen obviously in that shot. And I don't think I did the composite. Well, I didn't. I know I didn't. I used, in fact, I think I used Lightroom to get rid of me in these shots. But this is why when I was I ended up going to the 50 because I thought, I just don't know if they're a bit too small in the frame. But again, we could have taken this with natural light and it would have looked okay. But what we wouldn't have been able to, what wouldn't have happened in natural light is the couple would not have popped. Again, look at that. And where does your eye go? It goes to the couple because they are the brightest part. If we shoot this in natural light, the brightest part of that photograph is going to be either the water or the sky. They're not going to pop. And this is why I personally, personal taste, why I personally think that off-camera flash is so powerful and it's so much better in times like for shots like these than natural light would be because the couple won't pop otherwise. So that's a 1635, which I thought I like it, but are they a bit too small? So I've that's as far as I think I could get in with the 1635. That is the walking shot on the 50. And that was actually my favourite shot of all. And again, I've used Lightroom there to get rid of Helen. He's done a really good job. That's the same shot again, obviously with the 50. Oh yeah, going back to that one. Now, just before we finish like this particular shot, and then I'll do one more, or maybe two more, shall we go? I just want to show you a little bit of behind the scenes of... I then went to meet Scarlett and Michael because I was thinking, oh, can I do a shot from the side of the bridge? I couldn't. There was nothing there to shoot. But I did go over, and you get a bit of an idea here of how much fun the couple were and what they had to go through to get to where they were. You two are rock stars, honestly.
Just so lovely.
I know. The lens that brides will go. I'm going to show it to every future bride of mine is seeing this. This is what I expect. Yeah, they were amazing. Right, okay, the next one is actually a few minutes after that. So remember, we'd gone to that bridge in the car. Now, because I'm in the UK, because that was a winter wedding, we were losing the light fast, really fast. But I also knew that when we went back to the venue, there wouldn't really be anything to shoot outside. So I was thinking, oh, can we just grab one more location? And Helen, I think, had spotted when we were driving there in the morning, this like lane full of really beautiful orange leaves. And it was right, oh, if we can use there, it'd be really cool. Now, bear in mind that the couple didn't know about this particular lane and they wanted the bridge. So also we went to the bridge first. But I was also thinking, let's try and get to that lane. And we couldn't find it, annoyingly. We were driving round. I remember doing a 3-point turn in a little country lane. It's like, and I've got the couple in the car. It's like, oh, but the light's going really quickly. But I knew how cool this lane would look. Thankfully, we got there and we had to literally jump out of the car, not because of any other reason than the light was going so fast. And the next photograph I'm going to show you now is during that time. Now, the reason I wanted to show this particular photograph was because I created what I call a fake sunset. And there are videos on my channel where you see me doing this. But I just mentioned I've started posting a bit to TikTok. They are vicious with their comments over there. And people are saying, oh, it looks like it's been taken in a studio. You're not showing the environment. Without thinking, I do take more than one photograph at each place. So I'm going to show you, first of all, the natural light photographs from this particular place. More to prove to people at TikTok that I actually take more than one photograph on a wedding day. So you'll get an idea here. Looks so cool.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
Of that lane. Now, what you don't get, and again, I really wish you understood, because it looks like it's the middle of the day here. It was really dark. You will see my camera settings, which will give you an idea of just how dark it was. I'm now taking these on my Sigma 135mm, and in a second I'll zoom in and you see the camera settings.
Okay. Nice.
Right, I'm at f1.8, 250th at 4000 ISO. Just picture what most scenes would look like with those settings. In the middle of the day, that would be all blown out at 4000 ISO, but the light was so low and gone so much at this point, I had to do that. And what I always want to stress to anybody watching is don't be afraid of shooting at high ISOs, because when I show you the photographs, you won't be able to tell, because these days we have amazing tools like denoise in Lightroom, like what am I thinking of? Topaz, which cleans up photographs really well. So don't worry about noise.
What are you doing? Pick a left.
I'm also here playing a game with the couple to create moments. So they're looking at each other, they're walking towards me, playing a game with each other, which is making them laugh.
That is the challenge.
Okay, so am I muted? I'm going to say a word now. Abracadabra. Can you put that in the chat if I'm muted currently? The reason I'm asking that is I'm trying to load images up at the same time, and I'm just worried that it's muting me. Right, so let's have a look at some of those photographs. There you go, there's one of them. Again, you wouldn't know that was 4000 ISO. I'd like to think you wouldn't. That's the one that I like the most, because that's just a moment, like a genuine fun moment between the two of them. But again, 4000 ISO for that. And this is an off-camera flash photograph that I took just before. Ah, it's working. Thank you. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Alan. This is a photograph that I took just before what you're going to see next. And I didn't turn the 360 camera on for this bit. But that is one soft. That's a softbox. Helen's holding a softbox above them, using that really nice feathering technique that we spoke about before. So let's now take that off and show you a bit more behind the scenes.
Just ignore this. Oh, this is gonna be good.
Now, I did think it was going to be good, but remember, the way that when I'm taking a test shot and I'm going, oh, this is going to be really good, it's not really for me. That is for the couple to hear and feel confident that we're going to get something really cool.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Just realised that one of my future brides, Sammy's watching this, and she's not going to fall for this anymore. She's going to be, is it though? Really? Really?
Gorgeous, you two. Okay, you can be a bit further away, Helen, if that's right, because I'm at such a high power. Yeah, you're good, Helen. Actually, sorry, I must have...
Right, so I'm going to show you these photos. You can see on the back of the camera there, and it's what you're going to see now is virtually straight out of camera. They don't really need any editing, but you get a bit of a sense of it there. But I'm not happy with the fact that one of my little rules to myself is I like my couples, when I'm posing them, to be looking into the frame. And what I mean by that is that, oh, sorry. What I mean by that is if I'm taking a photograph of me from this side, I don't want to be looking out of the frame like that. I want to be looking into the majority of the photo of the composition. And with that photograph, because Helen was lighting them from that side and I was including the leaves on the right, they were the opposite of that. So I wanted to try and fix that. But what I'm going to show you before I show you the second part of this is that photograph that you just saw on the back of the camera. Which is just loading up now. This is a bit, I thought I was muted, but I now know that I'm not. Is it in? Yeah, there you go. Oh, no, that's a bit cropped in because I've obviously not done something with that. But that's what you just saw me taking. And I say the lighting is a bit off for me there. The fact that we can't see Scarlett's face, that it's just not great lighting. So to rectify that, you'll see what I do.
Sorry, I must have turned into the spoon pose again, so after all that, sorry.
So if I want to include the leaves on the right and have Scarlett looking into the majority of the frame, I need Helen to get into the bush.
Your bossing won't be in this, just like waist up. Helen, can you... what I'd like to do is Scarlett be facing that way. Can you get in here?
What?
So Charlotte, can I just do the opposite?
Yeah.
So Michael, I'll see you on this side. Bit further away, Helen, if that's right, because you cover it like more window light, Helen. So it's just mainly Scarlett.
When I keep on saying in these videos window light to Helen, that is me literally saying I want you to replicate window light, which is what why I showed you that one earlier on in the stream. And that's exactly what I do when I'm holding a light for Helen. Say we do the same thing for each other, but window light, Helen understands what that means, much as when Helen says that to me, I understand what she means.
Maybe look a bit taller. Don't worry, no, you look good. Really good, yeah. Helen, look exactly what you're doing. Okay. I nearly did. Oh, these are nice. Good, you two. Really nice. Just got to be. Oh.
Oh no, Sammy does know my tricks now. I have to go up with some new ones. Okay, let's have a look at those images. Okay, one more after this. Then that's it. Unless we can hit more likes. Okay, here we go. Now remember, you've just seen where that was taken. It looks completely different. That, again, to me, is why I love using and teaching off-camera flash. Because at this point, it was so dark, we wouldn't be able to get anything of any use in that particular position. But by using flash, it makes it very easy. And all this is the most simple technique. It's one light behind the couple on a light stand. That it was a V860, which is a very small little speed light, like this. And that had on it a CTO gel from Magmod, which is basically just an orange gel. That means that when we put the orange gel on, the light that comes out of this is going to be very, very warm. Replicate sunlight, warm sunlight. Now, if we didn't use any other light source, the couple, Scarlett and Michael, would be obviously underexposed. You can get away with that. It can look really nice, actually, but not in this particular pose. For that to look nice, you'd need them to be facing each other. But by adding a mag box on them, it gives beautiful light. And you saw that mag box, again, was really close to them. Why was it close? Because that's when we get the best quality of light. And by quality of light, that means that the light fades into the shadow really soft and beautifully, rather than harsh light. If your light source is far away, that's what you get, where you get light, shadow, and just a line in between. What you want is that graduation between light and shadow to be really soft, as it is here. And that is because we're using a large light source relative to the couple, very close. And the larger the light source, the softer the light will be, which for portraits is beautiful. And that's how we create that, which is completely different to what the human eye sees. And it gives you that flexibility then to be able to take shots like I showed you before, like these, within a minute of each other. And that's the beauty of using, say, off-camera flash, because you can take different shots or shots that look completely different to each other really, really quickly. And that's a great technique to have, especially, you know, you want to provide your couples with variety. You don't just do the same shot over and over. So the fact you can take that shot and that shot within a couple of minutes of each other is really useful. Okay, cool. Right, one more. Promise you one more. Can we get 90 likes if that's all right as well? If you've not liked the stream, I'd massively appreciate it. Oh, I've not even used my air horn. What a waste. I set that up before. Was that a bit quiet? One more to go. So yeah, if you could please like the stream, I would love you forever. Okay. Oh, thank you very much, Natalie. I really appreciate it. Okay, next, Natalie. I can't even speak now. We are on 2 hours 14. Thank you very much, Steve and Sam. I don't know. Maybe both of you watching together. Maybe you both watch it together on the sofa. I'm picturing that you are. I hope you had a very happy Christmas, the two of you. Okay, let's now. Thank you very much, Dreamscape Creative Photography. I appreciate that. Okay, let's now move on to the last one. Oh, thank you, Christopher. Very, very kind. I appreciate it. Okay, last one, which is Darcy and Matt again. Now, this, again, there's a story behind this one. Oh, I'm on twice. There's a story behind this one. So, Darcy and Matt are amazing. I feel like a broken record saying this, but honestly, their wedding and them two were just amazing. Like, it was so much fun. I've not even scratched the surface of their wedding in this live stream. And yeah, just phenomenal couple, good friends of mine. And I was feeling so much pressure for their wedding, because it's like, if any wedding has to go well, it's Darcy and Matt's, because I know there's going to be a lot of eyes on it. And because Darcy and Matt are friends, I really wanted to give them the best images that I possibly could. And it wasn't helped by the fact that on their day, the weather was not good. And when we were sat down eating food, they very kindly put us on the table with other suppliers. It was amazing. But the weather outside... So that's right, I should have said. The plan was for us to go off-site to a place called Padley Gorge, which is a very fast-flowing stream. I've made a video there on my YouTube channel. If you look at a video I did reviewing an Epson printer, you'll see that it was taken at... That video was made at Padley Gorge. And it's treacherous on bad weather days. Like, it's to get to the gorge, you've got to get in a car, drive to it, walk down a very muddy path if it's been bad weather, and yeah, you need wellies and all sorts of stuff. It's not easy. And Darcy and Matt go to Padley Gorge quite a lot. They live local to there. It's a special place for them. And they wanted to go to Padley Gorge. And I was like, brilliant. I'd love to do that. But the whole day it was raining. And during the reception, or when the wedding breakfast, it was bouncing rain. And it was like, oh, we're supposed to be going to Padley Gorge in like an hour. It's going to be horrible. Not only that, but it was practically dark when we got there as well. And it's like, oh, but I know it's a special place for them. And I don't even think we'll even be going. So I went over, after the speech was finished, I went over to Darcy, first of all, and said, and it was still raining. And I was like, it's completely up to you. I'll do whatever you want, but it's raining. Do you want to go to Padley Gorge? Now, inside, I'm really wanting to go still. But I also don't want Darcy to feel any pressure to go when, you know, it's a wedding day, it's raining, it's nearly dark, it's windy, it's horrible. And Darcy, I was expecting Darcy to say, oh, we might just leave it. We can do it again another day or something like that. She went, yeah, I want to go. It's like, brilliant. She said, let me just check with Matt. Now, I was thinking, I bet Matt's going to look outside of the rain. Matt said, oh, if you think it'd be too treacherous there, we'll go somewhere else. There's another place we know called Kerber Edge, which is even harder to get to, even more treacherous. It's on a cliff edge. And they said, we can go there instead. So they did not care. They were all for the photographs. And that's just one reason why I think they're both incredible. Much like Scarlett and Michael that you just saw, who would have to go through the undergrowth to get on that bridge, Darcy and Matt would have to go out in the rain, in crazy weather, for this photograph. So I was really pleased that they did, but I also thought, it's going to be tough to get anything. We've got no natural light whatsoever now. It's really dark, but I need to get them something. And when we got there, I'm going to start playing the video now, I didn't really have a plan.
I want to lift the dress up. I'm not getting the bottom.
Sorry, just realised I was muted. Right, so we've now got to Padley Gorge, and if Paul's watching still, he will be able to confirm this. It was practically dark. Again, the video doesn't do the conditions justice. It was really dark weather. I had no option but to shoot everything with off-camera flash. There's just cloud. It's going to be dark in half an hour. In fact, by the time we got back up to the car, the car park, the lay-by is to the right about a 4 or 5 minute walk up a hill. So we've come down that hill to this point, and there's a bridge just behind the tree that you see there. And I originally went onto the other side of the gorge and put my bag down. I didn't know what I was going to do at this point. I was like, what am I going to do here? I'm struggling. So I thought, I'm going to try like a fake sunset type of shot, because there was no natural light whatsoever. It was going to be dark in 20 minutes, half an hour. And I was going to say there, in fact, when we got back to the car, it was dark. We were only there for 20 minutes, so I didn't know what I was going to do, and I was worried. I was struggling because I thought I got to get something decent here. So I tried the fake sunset shot, and it just didn't work. And the reason for that is when I'm doing this fake sunset shot, I like the background to be really dark. Now, the background here, as you see, it is not dark, it's sky. And it just didn't work. Now, when I play the video, hopefully you'll agree that I didn't project my worry onto Darcy and Matt. But internally, I was like, these aren't good enough. And then I was like, what do I do?
Yes, please. Thank you. And then Helen, I'm going to put you the other side as well, if that's all right. So Darcy will end up looking back towards Matt, spooning. So you're going to back into Matt for me, please, Darcy. So more backing in. That's it, yeah. Really softly. You can close your eyes. Beautiful.
Notice that I just said beautiful. I was struggling. Not offering to show Darcy and Matt these photographs, am I?
Really nice, you two. God.
Do you ever just keep on clicking the shutter, just hoping that something will happen?
Yes, okay. Now if you can just... Helen, can you put that...
Again, notice I say gorgeous. To prove it, these shots that I took there were never delivered to Darcy and Matt. But again, try and look at what or listen to what I'm projecting.
Gorgeous. Okay. Now if you can just... Helen, can
At this point, I've got nothing.
you put that back one as low as it'll go?
So what I thought I'll do instead, rather than trying to create a fake sunset as such, if I and that light behind them is on a huge light stand with, again, it's a AD200 with the CTO gel attached that I showed you before. So it's creating warm light, but I say because the sky was too bright, it wasn't bright, but it wasn't pitch black, it wasn't giving me the fake sunset effect that I wanted. So I thought, let's lower that light and just backlight Darcy and Matt. Maybe that will be better. And I also thought, if I get my camera really close to that water, I'll be able to create some sort of reflection. Again, I'm being really honest with you all here. I didn't have anything here and I was struggling.
Please, what's the... Yeah, well, I was just if I can do a big backlit shot of them both. I'm going to take really low, see if I can get a reflection. It's all good, it's all good. Yeah, these are Crocs. Yeah, this is good.
I can tell my voice there. I was like, that's good. That's a relief.
Okay, at the minute, no need for a backlight, Helen.
Yeah, front light.
Front light, no.
So Helen was holding the front light, a bit like you saw with the fake sunset shot just before. I was trying to create the fake sunset with the light on them, but it just wasn't working. So at this point, we've now lowered that light so that it's backlighting. In other words, it's directly behind the couple, so I can't see that light anymore, which is but going to just rim light them, but we don't have a front light on Darcy and Matt. So what I end up doing is asking them to face each other, so they're almost like in penguin pose, we call it. So you don't really need a front light then.
Really nice. Helen, sorry to be a real pain. Can you move it a little bit that way? I mean, a fraction.
I mean, Neil, you could have just moved yourself.
Like 2, 3 inch. Yeah, that should be totally the way there, Helen. Yeah, that's good. Okay, Helen, I'm gonna... Can I bring you round here, please? Yeah, I want this little bit of stuff lit up.
So I'm quite happy with what I'm getting here. And you can see on the bottom of the camera there that it's getting there. Like the sky, the top bit already looks quite cool just as we look at the bottom of the camera. But notice how dark the rest of the frame is. This is why it is so important when you're shooting that you're critiquing yourself and asking yourself, what can I do to improve this whilst you're shooting it? So I'm looking at this thinking, we're getting there now, we're on to something, but that right and bottom is too dark. So what I needed was to light up those reeds that were right in front of my camera because they were too dark. So that's why I said to Helen now, can you please come around here and light up with a flash the foreground?
Can I bring you round here, please? Yeah, I want this little bit of stuff lit up. Sorry, you two. Got Ellen earning a keep. Is there anything you want, Paul, while we're waiting?
I'm up like 16,000 ISO, which looks...
I'm really pleased I got that bit. I just said to Paul, is there anything you want? He said, I'm on 16,000 ISO. That's how dark it was. I'm going to just play that so you can hear it again.
Is there anything you want, Paul, while we're waiting?
I'm up like 16,000 ISO, which looks...
This will look cool, this. I just need this lit.
Yeah. Also, all the bags there.
Yeah, you won't see it. Oh, God, sorry. Oh, see.
Big thank you to Marie, my friend Marie here. Again, a very, very talented wedding photographer. She was a guest at Darcy and Matt's wedding, and she was very kindly helping here as well. So thank you, Marie.
I see.
Yeah.
Hell, it's raining, if you can.
I feel bad. So, Helen, it's raining. Go quicker as she's walking across a really slippy bridge and walking through mud. Helen, it's raining. Be quicker. I apologise, Helen. I'm horrible to work with.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Hell, it's raining, if you can. Okay, you two. Just going to be facing each other for me.
That's how I get down.
I don't want you to, sorry. It's just that we had a bit of rain then. I don't know if it was just... No, of course. So if you can just light this for me, please.
There you go. So that's all I actually needed. That little bit of light on those reeds made the difference.
Oh, I changed it off, sorry.
It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, don't worry.
Yeah.
Bit more.
Ooh.
Bit more.
Looking good.
Yeah, this is nice.
Notice now, I'm showing you, and pause it there so you can see how close this was to in camera. Just because, again, I get so many people when I've shared stuff on social media saying, oh, it's all in the editing. It happened yesterday on TikTok. I had to prove it by showing a raw file. Get it right, and you don't need to edit. You just need to critique yourself and take your time and practice.
Oh, can I just have you to face each other for me, please?
Yeah.
I've got it, I've got it.
Have you?
Yeah, this is really gorgeous.
And I think I actually meant it that time, thankfully. Right, so let me show you that one. There you go. And thankfully, I feel like I got what I wanted. But yeah, I just want to stress, I was struggling there. The conditions were horrible. I had the best couple ever, but really tough conditions. And I don't want anyone to think that, like, you know, I'm showing you here like a bit of a greatest hits of behind the scenes. But don't think that everything always works. It doesn't. And sometimes you do struggle, and that's normal. But remember, it's only through trying things and experimenting and not being afraid to fail that you get to places that you've not been before. You have to get comfortable with failure, because if you don't, you'll just remain safe. And when you shoot safe, everything's the same. You will never progress as a photographer. You have to get very comfortable with trying new things in the knowledge that it might not work. But in doing so, you will learn. And by admitting to yourself almost when you're shooting, that's not working, you buy yourself another chance. Like, I knew that fake sunset here was not giving me what I wanted, so I had to change it, and thankfully I did. But get comfortable with failing and with trying new things. That honestly is the way to get there. And that was one of the hardest. Thankfully, I ended up with one of my favorite photographs of the year, but that was one of the most nerve-wracking and worrying times of the year for me, because it was Darcy and Matt, because it was their special place. So yeah, it was tough. But yeah, don't think for a second that everything that I do works. It really doesn't. And that's why, like, some of those shots will never even be delivered. I probably deleted them straight away. So that's all the behind the scenes. Thank you so much for watching this stream. I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah, Helen, yeah, I think I was then. But I can even tell in my voice, I know when I'm being authentic and saying, oh, I love this. And I also know when I'm not being authentic. And I knew then, I can remember how that felt. Like, oh, thankfully we've got something. Phew. Yeah, very, very much a relief of getting that. But yeah, I can be a grump. You are right, Helen. Thank you. Yeah, I know I'm a bit of a pain. Thank you, Fiona. Thank you, Christopher. Very kind. I just realized, KH, it's Kim and Glyn. Sorry, I didn't realize who you were. It's Kimberly Hill. I'm assuming it is anyway. So great to see that you and James Song of those English shots too. Great advice. Thank you. Question here from Patrick from Cincinnati. I noticed in the mirror shot, the brides did cover the grooms, but in the moment, the expression was out every time. The brides, arm. Yeah, no, it's more that I don't want the arm to be pressing against a groom. By putting the arm lower, you just tend to relax couples a little bit more. But you are right as well. The moment will always win. Yeah, that's why it's always important to try and add that moment, just to lift what can be a nice shot into something, you know, with more emotional impact. So yeah, thank you very much for noticing that. I'm just checking out, I've got everything else. Thank you very much for watching from Nigeria. That's amazing. Do you know Big H Studios? One of my photography idols, based in Nigeria. Yeah, phenomenal. So thank you very much for tuning in. James said, did you cool down your white balance here with the CTO? No, I only ever use. I don't tend to. Did you call? No. So the CTO for me is just. It's all relative to, if you use a CTO and no other gel, it means that wherever you are on the white balance scale, the background's a lot warmer than the foreground. So it doesn't really matter whether assuming you're shooting in RAW and you can change your white balance afterwards, I don't tend to worry too much about where I'm at, as long as the ratio of warmth is right. So even if I was shooting at 4,000 Kelvin, if I'm using a CTO gel behind, I can make it really warm after. It's just that the foreground gets lifted up as well, if that makes sense. So no, bear in mind, I am, oftentimes working quick, very sort of quick, dirty, so I'm not stressing too much about changing the white balance. I tend to keep my white balance around somewhere between 5,500 Kelvin to 6,000 Kelvin and I don't tend to change it at any point, knowing that it will be wrong in camera sometimes, but also knowing that I can change it in post very easily. That does not apply if you're shooting in JPEG only. Right, I think we'll finish it there. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. I hope you've really enjoyed it. Please let me know again if you'd like me to do another one of these. I've got lots more behind the scenes. And again, last little shout out for Flashmasters. It is everything. Like, so Helen and I, when we set this up 2.5 years ago now, we've put everything into it and we could not be prouder. So if you want to learn about off-camera flash, regardless of where you're at currently, whether you're at the very beginning where you've not even touched a speed light, or maybe you've been using off-camera flash for 10 years, there will be education content there and inspiration for you. We have tutorials, dedicated tutorials about so many things that will help you, such as we spoke about Jeff Tisman's champagne spray, sparklers with Scott Joes White, Arno de Brown shooting live in Amsterdam for a whole hour, turning really boring locations into something epic. My introduction to off-camera flash. There will be, I've not said this anywhere yet, how I shoot speeches tutorial coming this month. We've got a whole hour-long shoot with Natalie Martin, who's been in the chat, who's phenomenal. I've mentioned Natalie before, who was teaching at Guiding Light. She spent a whole day with us. We filmed all behind the scenes of her shooting, how to shoot astrophotography portraits with Jesse and Darlin, how to shoot wedding rings with George Pompilio. There's probably more that I'm forgetting. Helen Williams, who's shooting, shows how she shoots the dance floor. She's the best at it. It's all there to learn from, and I know I sound like a salesman, but I promise you the value you get is insane. And that's just the education. That's even talk about the awards or the Facebook members group. So I promise you will get a lot from it. Thank you so much, Tracy. And last word with Natalie. Thank you very much, Natalie. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to Helen for helping me in so many of these videos. These images that I've shown you would not be what they were without Helen's amazing help and patience. And remember, Helen is in her own right an incredible photographer, an amazing educator. I know she's about to start a new cohort of mentoring soon, so go and follow Helen if you're not doing already. And I second shoot for Helen even more than she second shoots for me. Yeah, Helen's phenomenal. So thank you again for joining, everyone. And again, hope you have a very, very happy 2025. Can't wait to see what it brings for us all. Happy New Year, and thank you for watching, and hopefully see you on the next one. See you soon.